Good morning. Hello, Stevie. How are you? Hello, anyone else who's out there? If anybody wants to let me know who's here or ask me anything or share anything, that would be great. And if not, that's okay too. So, yoga for stress reduction, I'm definitely changing the name. Maybe next month I'll change the name to Yoga for Healthy Aging or whatever, yoga therapy for healthy aging. I don't know. Something, but it is about that healthy aging. Although we are reducing stress in our joints, stress in our muscles, strength in our body, stress in our body, stress and tension in our mind, in our body. So all of that will be happening as well. And anything anyone wants to ask, say, report. It's always interesting for me, right? Because I know people are here. I don't know who's there. I don't see you. I'm definitely getting used to this. 3 years in, I better be. But yeah, it is what it is. Acceptance is really the key to happiness. Not attaching to the outcome is such an important thing for happiness and contentment. And just yesterday, I was transferring flowers that were in ceramic pots. And I had 4 of them, and I shouldn't have been doing that. I had 2 of them with my fingers like this, and I knew it was precarious. I felt it. And as I got closer to my destination, 2 of them fell and shattered everywhere. And in that moment, like, they were really nice white ceramic containers for my orchids. I have all of these orchids coming back. It's amazing. I feel like I have a green thumb. I have so many the little, shoots that are coming off. So I wanted to move them to a different location. Anywhere, I'm looking on the ground at these destroyed 2 shattered white pots. And I just thought, oh, well, I can't change it. And I'm picking up the pieces and everything, but I'm like, this is what we have to do. The more you go into a place of acceptance for different things in life, it's really powerful. And over the years, that's something I've really tried. No matter how anything that's happening in my life, I really try to accept what it is for what it is. All right, Michael, good morning. Nice to have you here. Thanks for letting me know you're here. All right, so let's get going without further ado. Let's do it. Oh, I do have them. I'm like, where's all my props? All right, so let's get ourselves ready to practice the props that I like to use. Definitely a blanket, if nothing else, at least 1 or 2 blankets. And then a strap and a block can be really helpful. Want to work on stability today, trunk support, alignment. That will all help with balance and with healthier joints and reducing stress in joints from aging, from life. I went to the dermatologist and I'm having some spots that are precancerous burned off. And my daughter asked me, or someone asked me, did you used to go in the sun? And I thought, yeah, I did. I used to really go in the sun. And I remember having a tan face. And in those days, that was the thing to do. I remember having a foil sheet with the rays hitting me with baby oil. I mean, oh my gosh, like a chicken breast out in the sun with oil on it to fry. That's really crazy. So here I am in my late 50s. I guess I could say late. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. I don't care how old I am because this is just the package that I live in. I still have girl energy. Maybe always will, hopefully. But it's like life. Whatever we've done in our lives actually stays with us in our body. So whether that's previous sun damage, if we were out in the sun a lot, or wear and tear from sports and from activities. So the more aligned you could be in your joints, the healthier they'll be, the more that you will prevent future pain and suffering. And if you do have anything in them, hopefully dislodge them. So whatever we do today, whatever joint we're bending or unbending, Try to do that in the maximum range of motion. And then this joint up here called the brain, try to stay present moment. Try to align and clean this joint, the brain, by staying present moment, by breathing, by letting go of any negative thoughts, any future worry, any past worry that doesn't exist anymore. Those two things are not real. Let's be very present moment. Feel your body, move your body, do your best, leave the rest, and try to do a lot. Try to go to your edge slightly over. Push yourself, because the more you demand, then the more you'll build and the more you'll have. And we'll go against what happens as we age, which is a decline. And so that's what we're going to do. So wherever you are, close your eyes, bring your awareness to this moment. Feeling, noticing, going into your body, tapping into sensations, to feelings. This is the package you're here in this lifetime living in. You, the unseen you. There is more to you that we cannot see than we can see. We only see the person's body, the container, the skin encapsulation of your soul, your earth suit. That's all we see. But you are so much bigger than that. Your feelings, your hopes, your dreams, the roles you play in this life. Yet the skin suit that you live in can have an effect on you. So let's work our skin suit today. Let's move it. Let's stretch it. Let's expand it. Let's nurture, take care of. And be aware of the importance of that for health and happiness. Mouth is closed. Breathe in and out through your nose. If your seated position is uncomfortable, then switch. Bring your hands together. Rub your hands together. Press your hands to your heart to your hands. This actually helps to put your spine in a more aligned position. So feel this. Hands are at the heart, pressing hands to heart, pressing hands to hands. A position that humans have been using forever. Many, many cultures come into this position, called oftentimes prayer position. In a kneeling position, hands are together. In a position to bow to respect, to surrender the ego of self to something greater than self. And it could be that that thing for you is nature. It could be that it's a tree. It doesn't have to be anything that maybe is uncomfortable for you that you grew up with. It doesn't have to be anything structured. It's you as a human being, noticing, recognizing that you are an energetic being connected to everything. You affect everything and everything can affect you. Take a deep breath in realization of yourself. And gently blink your eyes open. On the same wavelength, I like to also say that you are not this, that this skin suit that you live in is not you. It's not representative of you. You are bigger than this. So when you get caught up in the limitations of your skin suit to wherever you are today, it's not you. Don't notice that in terms of the hold it can have on you, the restriction, the fear the worry and all the things that can come in, especially when we start to think about our future, when we're going to travel, when we're going to move, when we want to participate in life, the things that we let become obstructions for ourselves. So let's do the best that we could do here to make this skin suit what we need it to be, so the bigger I, can do all the things I want to do. So have your blanket at the top of your mat. Let's come down on the ground. When we do come down the ground, we're going to place our hands on the chest and on the belly and have your arms alongside your body so that you can have the awareness or the sensations. This is one of my favorite breathing techniques because it actually keeps my mind and everything in this present moment, which can really calm the mind. So take your hand long, bring yourself down onto your mat. Put your blanket back, supporting your head. The least amount of support you give it, the more potential you have to correct posture. So if you have a roundness in your spine, have the blanket be as low as it can be to correct your posture. For some, maybe even taking the blanket away or going to a thinner fold. See, whatever feels appropriate for you. Eyes are open so that you allow yourself to arrive here. And then push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up, pull your pelvis away from your rib cage and place your pelvis back down onto the ground. Feel the connection of the sacrum, the base of your spine, grounded, rooted, very solid. So from a place of balance, this is the fulcrum. There's you below and you above. Let this feel really rooted down in the ground. And then take your arms, press your arms into the ground. Try to lift your rib cage away from the ground as you slide your shoulder blades towards the center. So you're resting flat on your shoulder blades. And notice there may be some tension up in the neck area, right along the neck where your head attaches to your spine, or not. Bring your hand onto your belly, your hand onto your heart. You decide which one, right or left, being down low. And the arms are alongside your body, resting in the ground. Your feet are a little wider than your body. You could walk them away from your body or closer to your body. See which one feels the best for you. Allow your knees to fall in towards each other. Lift your head up, tuck your chin towards your chest, and then rest your head on the ground or blanket so you feel the very center of your head, not the top part of your head, the center. Exhale. Then inhale, let your nose move over to the right. Let it be the tip of your nose you're focusing on. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tip of the nose goes to the left. And then inhale back to center. Tip of the nose to the right. Back to center. Tip of the nose to the left. Go as far as you can so that you feel a stretch that feels appropriate, releasing tension in the upper back and neck. Stress shows up in our upper back and neck. Stress of worry, stress of daily activities, stress of maybe not enough self-love and self-care, stress of life, especially the big, heavy things in life. If you've had any big, heavy things happen, that's a lot of weight on your upper back and neck area. So let this movement soften, dislodge, release any tension that exists in your upper back and neck area. The eyes are closed, feel it. Go slow. Sometimes if you go too fast, you may get motion sick. Or motion sickness. And then finishing it, bring yourself back to a static position. Bring your awareness to your hands that are on your body and begin to breathe to the hand on the chest. Keep the mouth closed, breathing in and out through the nose. And direct the breath to the upper chest. Feel the stretch. And then bring your awareness to the middle of the two hands where the lower ribs are. Breathe to your diaphragm. Feel your diaphragm expand. Try to keep the two hands quiet. Try to not let them move. Let it be the space between the hands that moves. The diaphragm circulating around your entire lower rib cage. Now bring your awareness to the hand on the belly. Breathe deep and low in your torso, all the way down to the palm of the hand on your belly. This can bring a lot of relief to stress that is held in the lower back area. Breathe deeply down to the pelvic floor, down to the hand on the belly. Even down to the tailbone, breathe down there. Let's breathe to our entire torso, warming up deep inside from the base of the spine all the way up to the top. So the tailbone at the base of the pelvis to the top of the spine where the skull attaches to your spine, that center middle ridge of the back of your head. I'm going to try to move, let the breath stretch as much of that part of your body, this whole center part of the body, as possible. So we're going to breathe to three sections: the belly, the lower ribs, and the chest. And try to expand as much as you can. We're going to inhale and exhale the same way because the diaphragm is what does this action, and that's in the lower part of the body. Let's prepare. Mouth stays closed the whole time. Exhale. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs,
chest, exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Continue on your own. Slow down the breath if you can. Let your awareness follow your breath. Stay right here, right now, in your body with your breath. Stay with your breath. The breath comes in low. The breath leaves from the lower. Begins with the diaphragm, ends with the diaphragm. Feel that movement through your entire torso and stay with each breath. Give yourself the gift of the present moment. A practice of human being, not human doing. Finishing the breath you're on. Take 3 more breaths, long, slow, right here, right now. When you finish with the breath, give the breath back to your body. Allow it to breathe itself. Bringing your awareness to your fingers and toes as you bring in movement. Then exploring movement here, fully outstretched position if that exists for you. If you're able to come into this without pain or aggravation, if your joints move into this range of motion, if they do, point your fingers and toes overhead and down below. Press your heart up towards the spine, adding a little bit of a back bend to the upper spine. You may feel this strongly in the belly. If you feel it in the low back uncomfortably, push your belly button towards your spine to protect your lumbar spine. Hug your spine with your core, your lower spine. And then flex the wrist, flex the hands, reach through the heels of the hands, the heels of the feet to reach and to stretch your body glove, your skin suit, the package that you walk around in, the package that helps us interact with the real you. Take one more breath. And then bend your knees. Bring the blanket underneath your head. Bring your feet a little wider than your body. Take your arms out to the side like a scarecrow. First, start with them all the way out to the side. Notice if the shoulders are okay here, and then modify accordingly. If you're able to bend your elbows and keep your hands far away from your body, try that. Back of the hands resting on the ground. Push your heart up towards the sky. Notice what happens to the low back. The spine is connected. 26 vertebrae, 2 in the lower, in the pelvis, 5 low back, 12 thoracic, 7 neck. So if you press your heart up, you're mobilizing the 12 vertebra, the thoracic vertebra. So what's going to happen is the tension is going to move down to the lumbar and up to the cervical. So this is where we need to learn how to protect the lumbar spine when we're mobilizing other parts of the spine. So if you press your heart up towards the sky, you add that back bend here, it's going to increase the extension curve in the lumbar spine. So hug your lumbar spine with your core, then push your heart up towards the sky. Now, maybe it isolates and there's a little more stretch in the front of your body, not so much in the back. Become body aware so you can protect your body, keep yourself away from pain and suffering. Soles of the feet are on the ground, pointing forward towards the wall straight across from you. And then begin to move the knees, keep the soles of the feet on the ground. Moving the knees side to side, feel the stretch in your body. Start to let your legs go a little farther. Keep your eyes open here so you can be observant and aware of sensations, of noticings. The legs are relatively close together, so there's a limited range of motion. Keep your tushy on the ground the whole time. Do not let your tushy cheeks fly off the ground. So when you're moving legs like this, pelvis on the ground, you're stabilizing your pelvis, stabilizing your trunk, mobilizing your legs at the hip joint. Notice what that feels like. Now we're going to do something different. You're going to let your legs go a little farther. Your buttock is going to move away from the ground. Even if it doesn't physically lift, you feel that all the weight goes to the buttock on the side that your knees are moving towards. And the other one maybe is or maybe is not. Notice what happens to your low back. You're now actually rotating your trunk. And then bring yourself back to center, go the other side. So we're stretching the stabilizing muscles of the trunk. A lot of these are in the low back. So notice how this feels for you. Pushing your belly towards your spine will help to protect the lumbar spine. These muscles, we want them to be limber and we want them to be strong. It's going to help with alignment, posture, balance, and fall prevention. Bring yourself back to center. You get a little bit more range of motion when the legs are wider. Let your legs go here a little wider and notice where the stretch is for you here. Hopefully a different part of your body you're experiencing. And then bring yourself back to center. Let the legs go to the left, head goes to the right. Stretch the right side. Flex the right wrist, reach the right heel of the hand away from you. Try to unbend your right hip, pushing it up towards the sky. Push your heart up towards the sky. Breathe to the right side of your body. Feel the stretch on the right side. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back to center. Let's go the other side. Slowly let your knees go to the right. Let your head go to the left. Let the left hand reach off the ground. Flex the wrist. Reach through the heel of the left hand. Unbend the left hip, pushing it up towards the sky. Push your heart up towards the sky. Deep breaths to the left side of your body. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Walk your feet back, push your pelvis or your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up. And then let your pelvis go back down. Lift your head up. Draw the knees in one at a time towards the chest, rocking side to side. Massaging the low back. Feel the top of the pelvis as you rock side to side. And then bring your feet down onto the ground. Let's do a little core work here. Take your block, bring your block between your knees, take your hands behind your head. So a little word of caution here. Keeping the front of your spine open always, especially if you have osteoporosis, and for all of us really. We don't want to close off the front of the spine. So we have discs in between our vertebrae. You do not want to press the front of the spine into itself so that you're pressing the fluids in the discs back. So really pay attention to this side, this part of your body when you're doing core work. Quite often, many of us may have learned crunches where we really would be closing off the front. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get this part of our body to contract. We don't need to round this upper part to make that happen. Lifting yourself up away from the ground is going to activate those muscles. So make sure when you do the core work today that you do not close off. You do not press the front of the spine into itself. That's not safe. We want to challenge our core by lifting our upper body up off the ground if we can and not closing off the front. So body awareness to protect your spine. Squeeze the block a couple of times to feel the activation of your inner thighs. Feel that strong action from knees all the way to the pelvis. And then squeeze the block, tilt your pelvis and release. tilt and release. Feel that. Now the lumbar spine is going through flexion and extension. Now let this happen with core muscles. So pelvic floor at the bottom, top is the diaphragm, and then you're going to hug your lumbar spine with your core muscles. Try to draw the pubic bone right down at the base of your body towards your belly button to really strongly tilt your pelvis. Feel the whole flattening of the lower back into the ground when you do this. Now let's add a challenge by bringing in the upper body. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the block, flatten the low back, lift your upper body off, tip of the nose is up towards the sky. And then as you inhale, go all the way down, press your arms into the ground, hard up towards the sky, and rock towards your tailbone. Exhale to lift. Really try to rock and roll your spine. Try to undulate your spine as much as you can, pushing the disc fluid forward and backwards in your spine. One more. And then bring yourself down. Let's add a little rotation. Most rotation, 80%, takes place right where the lower ribs or the middle spine meets the low spine, right here, the thoracolumbar joint. Let's try to get as much rotation to come into the thoracic spine as we can. So keep your tushy cheeks on the ground, hip bones straight up towards the sky, contracting your core to hug and protect your lumbar spine as we do rotation. Elbows are long. Exhale. Inhale. As you exhale, contract your core, lift your body up, press the left elbow into the ground, and then rotate the right elbow over towards the left. Try to flatten the left side, lower back into the ground. Slowly inhale to lower. Be slow. Squeeze the block, press the right arm into the ground, lift up and rotate. And then inhale down. Exhale to activate. Inhale to lower. Flatten the back on whatever side you're going towards. Activate the core like crazy. Feel it. One more each side. Bring yourself down, take the block out, draw the knees into the chest. Spread the knees a little bit, take your legs up towards the sky and hold on underneath your hamstrings. Draw your knees towards your shoulders, rocking side to side. And then draw your knees to your chest. Bring your feet onto the ground. So in order to, the stabilizing muscles of the trunk to protect your spine, to really work on balance, fall prevention, spinal alignment, and core stability. Take your hands down alongside your body. Contract your core. Inhale. As you exhale, draw your left knee up and try to flatten the left side, low back into the ground. Inhale to lower. Exhale, right leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale, left. Exhale, right. Feel how you're tilting your pelvis back, flattening your low back. Now keep yourself stable. Feel the pressure in the lower area of your pelvis. Low back is away from the ground. So in the neutral curve, the extension curve, low back doesn't touch. See if you could lift the left leg, keeping that stability. Feel the core turning on when you do this. then put the leg down. The other leg lifts up and down. Feel how the muscles activate so you don't tip side to side and your pelvis doesn't tilt forward or backwards. And you'll feel that core work activating. If the slower you go, the harder it is, the more advanced it is, the more benefits, the more work, the more joint strengthening, range of motion, and flexibility you create. Now walk your feet closer to your body. Bring yourself up into tabletop. Even maintaining tabletop requires core stability. Low back is not touching. Your hip lights are pointing straight up towards the sky. Hands are to the side. Inhale, touch your left toes. Exhale, draw the leg back towards center. Inhale. Keep your pelvis stable. Don't let it move at all. Farther away you touch your toes, the harder it is. Legs right above your pelvis is harder. If it's too challenging for you, bring the knees a little closer to your chest. Stabilizing, using the trunk stabilizers. One more each side. And then draw the knees in. Bring your feet onto the ground. Take your strap. And make a loop. And then draw your feet up. Put the loop around your legs so that it comes to the top part of your thighs. When the legs are spread, they're the distance of your body. The space between is about a fist. So you're not too wide here. Pushing out onto your strap. Tilt your pelvis back, flatten your low back into the ground, and then towards your tailbone. Rocking and rolling your pelvis, pushing out in the strap. Feel that activate side body muscles, one of them being the glute. Use the tushy cheeks now. So we were tilting the pelvis earlier with the core, which is the whole front part. Now I want you to squeeze your tushy cheeks right here, squeeze. And then start to squeeze and lift so the tushy cheeks come off. Try to unbend the hip joint. So let the awareness be in the tushy. Let your awareness be your hips. You're trying to unbend them. So squeeze the tushy cheeks, push them forward to try to unbend the hip joint. Pushing out on the strap. And squeeze like crazy. Don't let the posture challenge you. Add extra challenge. So don't just do this to see if you feel it in your glutes. Actually really activate the glutes. Get as much of them to join this movement as possible. Very important for balance, for posture, for alignment, for fall prevention, for hip health, low back health, knee health. Strong body, strong bones, healthy aging. There's a reason why it's the biggest muscle group in the body. Squeeze, unbend the hip. On your next one, you're going to come up and hold. Come up and hold. Stay here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try to unbend the hip. Take your hands. See if you have a nice smooth movement down your hips. Squeeze and lift a little higher. Both buttocks. Push out on the strap, squeeze the tushy. And then go ahead and release, bring yourself down. Take the strap off. Draw the knees in. Let's stretch this area. Take the right leg over left. Reach your head up. Remember not to collapse or contract the front of your spine. Reach around the outside. Take a hold of your feet. Separate them. And then draw the knees closer to your chest. Moving side to side. And then let's go the other. So take the left leg on top of the right, reach up, hold on to your feet, draw the knees closer to your chest and side to side. Stretching posterior hip capsule, side of the body. Very important area of our body for healthy aging. Healthy, happy aging. And then bring yourself back. So we're going to do a little challenge using the glutes, using those stabilizing muscles, adding on a little now here. So we're going to squeeze the tushy, tilt the pelvis back. Your feet are body distance, so don't have them wider than your body. They're hip distance, which means that you could put about a fist between your legs. If you were to reach up, it's only about a fist. So make sure you're not too far apart. I'd say most people start off too far apart, which is not good for stability. You want to be able to stabilize here. So squeeze your tushy, push up and let your hips unbend. Feel your hands go there to the unbent hips. Belly is soft. We're using the back of the body, the glutes. You could even reach under if you'd like. Push your fingers right to where the legs attach. Feel those muscles activate. Then push your left leg into the floor a lot and lift your right leg up slowly and slowly place the right leg down. Push the right leg into the floor a lot. Prepare. Lift the left leg up. Imagine you have a ball right on your belly that's not going to tilt side to side. Close your eyes. Feel stability in your body. You're not lifted too high. Your rib cage is still on the ground. Squeeze the tushy. When you push away from the floor, let your awareness go to the back of your body on that side, to the whole tushy area, and squeeze, activate. Prepare before you lift. Set yourself up for success. One more each side. And then bring yourself down. Get your strap. Put your strap on your arches. Take your legs wide and then draw them towards the wall behind you. Stretch the whole back part of your legs. Notice how you feel. If you have tension, the upper back and neck, if you want to do a little side to side with your head, do whatever feels appropriate for you. Release the tension in whatever way you need. And then let's take the strap off. Knees in, bring yourself onto your side. You're going to push yourself up slowly. The slower you go, the more work you're doing for your upper body. Push and bring yourself up. And then get your blanket. Come on to a kneeling position. So we're going to
Stretch our spine, lengthen the spine. The important thing here is that the bending takes place in the hip joint. So bring yourself into a wide stance. Toenails are touching the floor. Look forward and straight ahead. Bring your awareness to the center of your buttocks. The center of your buttocks are going to go back and separate and contract your glutes here. Think about this part of your body bending. So if you visualize that you have raw eggs here, you're trying to crack those raw eggs by pushing the belly into the top thighs. So you bend, you push your tushy backs, activate your glutes, and bend back. You may feel a little heat here because we've been working this part of the body quite a bit today. Keep your head lifted. And if you want a little extra protection for your spine, you can bring your thighs, your hands onto your thighs to keep your front spine nice and long so you do not round the front spine. Even putting the heel of the hands into your legs so you push into the femur bones as you go back. And then bring yourself up. So we're going to bring that now into lengthening the spine. The goal here is to lengthen the spine. So take your hands forward and start pushing your tushy back, bending your hip. Hands are forward. Keep your head lifted. So a little bit of upper back and neck strengthening here. Arms are forward. Hands are spread. Toenails are touching the ground. Don't let your feet help. Let your feet be floppy. Try to let this be mostly glutes. Back and forth. Let's start going a little bit bigger. Bring yourself forward. Bring your pelvic bone towards the ground and then bring yourself back. Maybe your head goes to the floor, maybe your pelvis touches, or maybe not. Do whatever in this range of motion you can. You're bending and extending your hip joint. And all the muscles that attach are going to stretch and activate. Keep your arms straight. One more, each direction. And then bring yourself up. Come all the way up to a kneeling position. Bring your hands down alongside your body. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let your head go along for the ride. Stretching your upper body. Stretching your arms, your shoulder, your head, your neck. And then side to side, arm up and down. Bring yourself back to center. Let your arm go up and back, up and back. Try to be as high as you could be with your hand. See if you could feel that stretch in the belly, especially right where that front hip is. Make sure it feels okay for your low back. So in order to protect the low back, squeeze your tushy cheeks. Try to unbend that hip joint. Point the tailbone down towards the ground. And then do it with all that action in your body. It's going to limit your range of motion for rotation. That's okay. Feel what feels appropriate. So earlier we were rotating the lower body with the windshield wiper action, letting the knees go side to side and the pelvis was tilting off the ground. Now you're trying to rotate the upper trunk independent of the lower. So rotation of the body is a spinal movement. And there's a lot of muscles involved. Bring yourself back to center. Take your
foot off to the side and make it perpendicular. So the toes are pointing away, your knee is forward. Take your hand on the inside of that leg. Let your arm go in front of you, looking at your thumb. Let's inhale and exhale. Go slow here because you'll feel muscles of the core, of the trunk, the stabilizers. You may even feel a little bit of balance here as you have to balance on that standing leg, even if it's only half of the leg. On your next one, you're going to stay open. Stay here, reach long. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back to center. Bring yourself all the way out. Let's go to the other side. Bring the leg up. Make that heel perpendicular to your body. Take your hand on the inside of that leg. Arm is forward. Exhale. Inhale. Go slow. You'll explore things along the way. Notice what you notice about your body. One bar, we're going to go in, we're going to hold. And then bring yourself out. So you could rest for a second up here or come to sit on your heels if your body will let you. If you're able to come into a squat position, come into a squat position. And if you're not, stay in a kneeling position, either high kneel or low kneel. If you are in a squat position, really bring your awareness to your tailbone. Let it release. Do a little bit of movement up and down. Let the hips sink nice and deep into the socket. Let some tension release come out of the spine. Let the low back stretch. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back onto your knees. Let's stretch the side waist. So take one leg out to the side, toes are forward. Active foot. So stretching your ankle here, stretching the lateral chain, keeping your foot active. So not letting the foot collapse in, not letting that ankle have no bend. We really want to try to bend that ankle for fall prevention, for balance, for healthy joints, for helping you be bendable and not breakable. Movements like this can be really helpful for that. Take your hand on your thigh or on your leg, and then you're going to inhale up, exhale down. So do little movements here, little bouncing action here. Let that hip relax. Reaching up, feel that stretch, and then come to a static hold position. Reach up with your hand and down with the other hand. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Let's go to the other side. Leg on the ground, leg out to the side. So make sure that you get the bend in the ankle joint because that's an important part of this, is to stretch that part of your foot. If you do slip, trip, stumble, or fall, the more range of motion you have, the less likely you are to pull on bones and create stress fractures.
So it is for fracture prevention that we stretch joints, stretch muscles, and increase our range of motion. Let's bring the arm up and then little pulses to allow whatever needs to stretch to get used to where you're going. And then hang out. Stay here. Breathe. Wherever you have tension, breathe to that area. See if you can release that tension. Maybe surrender. Go a little deeper. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Rest. Let's stretch the legs where they attach to your pelvis, the ankles. Bring a leg forward. Bring the block forward. And bring your body forward. So that front leg, let that hip really sink nice and deep in the socket. And you're pushing on your block wherever you need. You may need to be high up to keep your spine straight. You may need to be on the middle or on the lower level. Or if you're pretty limber, maybe you can go all the way on the ground. Walk your front leg over a little bit so you feel even more stretch on the inner thigh, more space for your pelvis. And then that front foot, roll it so you come to the pinky toe edge. So the sole of the foot comes off, more ankle joint strength stretching. And now you've got some weight bearing in that area. See if you could feel the ankle joint, see if you could feel the inner thigh, either on the blocks or on the ground, whatever feels appropriate for your body. It's called lizard pose. Take one more breath. Come out slow, so bring your soul back down onto the ground, bring yourself up, bring your hand onto your thigh, and then unbend that back hip. We were stretching the hip flexor muscle group there, and part of those muscles are attached to the low back, so it can be a nice way to also release tension in the low back. Let's come to the other side, bringing your foot forward, bringing your body weight forward, back leg, the hip joint unbends, you go into extension, and then bring your hands forward onto your block. And the goal here, that front leg, that front hip, really try to let that leg sink nice and deep into the socket. Really let relaxation come into that front hip and the back hip. And then walk your foot over a little bit, it's a little wider, and see if you can feel that inner thigh stretch. Mouth is closed, breathing in and out through the nose. Don't round your spine, keep your head active. And then let's rock to the pinky toe edge. Sole of the foot is off, a little bit deeper stretch on that front leg. Using weight here to stretch hip muscles, back muscles, leg muscles. Take one more breath. Bring yourself up, out, all the way. Take your block off the side, grab your strap. Come to a kneeling position. Take your strap long. You're gonna bring your strap up and back. So the goal here is to try to stretch the underarm pits, the chest. Do what you can. Keep your arms
Straight if you can. Do not bend the elbows if that's available to you. And when you reach up, come up and hold as if you're holding a sheet in the wind. So you're reaching up and back and you're active. You're pulling out on the strap and you're trying to push the strap back. So stretching your body. If your low back doesn't like this, squeeze the tushy cheeks, point the tailbone down and protect the low back. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out. Let's come into a plank. A nice strengthening posture to end the practice. So bring yourself into any variation of plank you'd like. It could be modified. You could have your feet together. You could be in a static plank, just pushing away from the ground, or you could come into a three-legged plank. One leg lifts, then the other. You could challenge yourself by taking your legs slowly up and out to the side. Do what's appropriate for you. Close your eyes, feel your strength, your power. Take one more breath. And then take your feet wide or your knees a little wide. Bend your knees, push your tushy up into the air, take your hands wide. So you're gonna come into a half dog. Push one heel at a time towards the ground. Keep your spine long, bring your awareness to the front of your spine. If you're in a modified plank, push yourself back into puppy dog. Try to lift your knees up off the ground if you can. One at a time, don't let your head hang. And then try to push both at the same time. You could try to unbend your knees. Keep the bend in your hip so you're not bending your spine. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Take your blanket up to the top of your mat. If you could bend your toes and be on your toes, a little balance challenge here. Bringing your hands together in that prayer position in front of your heart, pushing your heart to your hands, hands to your heart, can help with the balance. And then let's come down. Coming all the way onto the ground, head on the blanket. Let your legs and your arms flop in the air. Let the arms be heavy. Legs are heavy. Get your legs a little wide, arms a little wide. Let everything settle. Knees to chest. Coming into Shavasana, let all of this settle into your body. Arms are long, legs are long. Eyes are closed, mouth is closed. And breathe. Nirname Akame Govinde Mukande Udare Apare Hariyam Kariyam 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 Nirname Akame. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to bring movement into your body, bending your knees, drawing your knees into your chest, rocking onto your side, and gently pushing away from the ground to come up to a seated or kneeling position. Take your hands together in front of your chest. Press your hands to your heart to your hands, long spine. A gentle humming sound up and down your spine to settle, to calm, to relax, Exhale. Inhale. Hands to the forehead, bowing forward in gratitude for the opportunity to practice. All right. Well, that was a total body, great stretch and strengthening, core stabilizers, lots of good stuff. So hopefully that was what you experienced. Yeah, Stevie, it is what helps me navigate my life, accepting whatever is. It's not always easy because not all things are, some things are heavier than others. But I find that over the years, as I've done that, I really have been able to manage my emotions a lot better. And managing our emotions and our nervous system is really critical to health. So it's a lesson I've learned that yoga has taught me that is one of my more valuable lessons that this practice has given to me. All right, so I am actually leaving this week for Scotland. So my live Saturday classes, I will not teach live for the next 3 weeks. Next week, I'll be in Ireland and Scotland, flying there that day. Following week is the week off, and then I'll be in England that last week. So I do have classes that I've created. I've even added a couple of new ones. I did all my
emails today for that. So Scotland, taking a group of people on a wellness journey to Scotland, beyond excited. It's going to be amazing. And I also have a Bali trip coming up August 30th to September 8th. And we still have space for people to join us in that amazing, wonderful adventure to Bali. And if you practice yoga with me, you'll stay in the shape you need to be able to travel the world. So if you're interested in that, look at my website, debbierobinson.com. And I would love to have some of you join me. If you want to have a conversation with me about it, ask questions, email me, or get in touch with me through my website. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all on some capacity, hopefully soon. You're welcome, Stevie. All right. So, Michael, does Bali sound interesting to you? It could be fun. Lynn, oh, I've been wondering about you, and I was actually thinking about you for Bali, Lynn. I don't know if that's something that appeals to you, or how good it not. Anyway, I have a fantastic thing planned. Is Dave with you? If he is, say hello. And if he's not, say hello anyway. All right. Yeah, I know, really. Well, I'm glad that you're here. We'll have a great time. Stevie will be with me. I know, right? That's what I was wondering. Hopefully everything is okay. And today's practice would be a good one to come back to. A lot of stretching, strengthening, real supportive work. So, all right, I've got to get out of here. I know you guys are chit-chatting, but and I don't think the chat's open when I'm not here. Aw. So Lynn, Stevie's going to Bali. You could join us. That would be so fun. And I know you'd love it, Lynn. I don't know if it works for you, but look on my website at it. And if you want to come tomorrow, I'm having a Zoom call. So questions and answers could be tomorrow. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm off. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'm teaching Tuesday and Wednesday, so I've got 3 more classes. My Wednesday, Yoga for Wellness, I will be here this week, and then I'm leaving that night. So anyway, have a beautiful weekend for the rest of your weekend, everyone, and until we meet again.